Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome. How everybody feeling? How you guys feeling? Give people some time to get into the chat. Happy Friday.
Yes, please say hello to us. So that's how we know that we are live. Say hello, please. Let us know that you're here. Come on into the room.
Welcome,
Come
everybody.
on
Welcome.
in the room.
Let me see. I wanted to send it out a couple more times. How everybody feeling on this Friday?
Come on in the room. Yes, come on in. I think I said
Weather,
that a few weeks ago. Every time I say come on in the room, it makes me think of the old Pentecostal hymnal, come on in the room. Hey, Dr. Lydia, thanks for joining us as always.
Hey, Dr. Lydia. We've been having some up and down weather down here. It's been raining all day today. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow too.
Oh, wow.
And somehow it's like 22 children right behind me in the pool. I can hear all of them screaming and jumping around, and it's literally in the middle of a storm today, and everybody still want to swim because it's still hot down here. It's still
Yeah, I was
humid.
going to say, that's how Houston is. Even though it's a storm, it's still probably 100 degrees or 90 plus
Definitely
degrees.
like 92 degrees still.
It was actually hot out today. I went out for a little minute out back, probably like 5 minutes. I just cleaned off like the top of the pool a little bit. And then I came back in.
Hey,
Checking
Dr. Lydia, how you feeling today? Happy
the pool
Friday,
fluid and
everybody.
all those things.
We was giving people some time to,
Yes,
get.
we were just giving a few minutes to come in so that everyone can be here for today's letter. We definitely don't want you to miss. And if for some reason you don't watch us live, please go back and watch the replay. We do interact in the comments after the replay. So any thoughts or anything after the letter, you can feel free to always add it into the comments in the replay. But thank you so much for being here with us today.
We got a good letter today.
Yep, we're going to be tackling the topic is about student loans. We're going to be tackling student loans. It's always a question. It's always something I know I get on my side of the business. Last week we kind of was our letter had more interest in stocks, and now we back to the real estate side. But yes, everybody is always nervous about their student loans, and my son and I are both college graduates, so we know everyone is dealing with all the things with their financial aid, their student loans, nervous about those things, implementing or messing with the ability to not purchase a home in the future. So the letter kind of encompasses all of that. So I'm excited about this conversation today.
Yeah, we were just talking about our student loans the other day. Well, you just mentioned me about mine.
Yeah.
So I was telling somebody because I've been watching Grey's Anatomy a lot. I used to watch it a lot in college, but it's actually like I like it. It's a good, interesting show. It's not just all soapy and stuff. So I was watching that, and somebody was like, oh, we were saying like basically you had to pick a dream car, a dream house, a dream pet, and a dream occupation, and they'll give you different ones. And mine ended up being mine was a director, and somebody else's was a doctor. And I'm like, well, depending on what type of director you are, I might be the director because a doctor gonna have a bunch of like student loans and debt and stuff. And they was like, doctors don't have any debt. And I just was like, you go ask a doctor if you think they have. Like, you go find a doctor that don't have no debt out here. Like, they definitely a special one. I just was talking about that. But I'm ready. We can get right into it.
All right. Well, I say let's jump in. I'll let anybody that comes in. We will greet you guys as you come in, but definitely continue to come into the room. If you can like and share the video so you can share it with someone else so they'll know that we live, that would be awesome also. And definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can get into the algorithms and we can send more people over to some of this great content. But thank you for joining us this evening on another episode. Let me say this real quick, Monte. I was saying we need to number our episodes. We don't even know what episode number this is. So we are I'm going to go back and I'm going to start saying episode 1 or 2. It's literally like my son and I just had these conversations. So we just brought it to the public. of our regular kind of daily, weekly conversations, but we're going to get organized and we're going to number everything so that we'll know what episode number this is. I thought about that recently, but welcome to another episode of Finance Friday, the CEO Lounge. I am your host, Dr. Ebony McArthur, and I'm here with my oldest son.
I'm Monte, everybody. EyeAm Brand CEO.
Yes, and we have a great letter for you today. And the subject of today's letter is my partner thinks we're rich, but my hidden student loans say otherwise. So, we back in the pot with everybody lying again. So let's get back, let's jump back into it. So, dear Dr. Ed and EyeAm Brand CEO, I'm in a high stakes relationship dilemma, and I need your help before I completely ruin my financial future. My partner and I have been dating for 2 years and things are getting serious. He views us as a power couple. We go out to upscale dinners, travel, and he's currently pushing for us to start shopping for our first home together. On the outside, it looks like I'm living the ultimate CEO lifestyle. But here's the nightmare. I have a massive secret. I graduated a few years ago with advanced degrees, but I am quietly drowning in over $120,000 of student loan debt. My monthly payments are astronomical. To keep up with his lifestyle and maintain the appearance that I'm financially on his level, I've been putting my actual savings to the side and living paycheck to paycheck. He has a great credit score and a solid investment portfolio, and he assumes I do too because of the job that I hold. Dr. Ebb, as a broker, I know that once we pull my credit and debt to income ratio for a mortgage pre-approval, my secret is going to blow up in my face. How do I confess this to my partner who thinks I'm financially flawless without destroying his trust or the relationship? And EyeAm Brand CEO, how do I fix my personal financial brand when I've been faking it till I make it? Signed, Holding Investors in Debt.
He's definitely going to blow up in your face when they pull your credit.
There's no hiding that. There's no hiding that. The truth will reveal itself.
Yeah, I'll start off just a little bit here. I would just say, like, people have to start, like, one, you got to just believe that you can't ask for somebody trust and you being untrustworthy. So if you are coming to, and I don't really understand, even for my own podcast, I feel as though, like, for you to be dealing with somebody for X amount of years as an adult and you guys are communicating, looking to buy a house together, like, I feel like communication is such a big aspect of why do you feel more comfortable going to strangers and letting them know and getting advice rather than sitting down with you. And this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying don't send in the letters because it's definitely a great, other people are going through the same thing, so they probably want to know as well. But
Absolutely.
that would be a question to me, like, why do people, and I see it all the time, like, people, I mean, for years, calling into the radio station, it could be anything. But, like, I feel like it'll be a better step if you sit down and talk with your spouse and let them know. So I understand that, you want a third party perspective and everything. But I feel like, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to face your fears. You always got to, you're going to have that tough conversation. That comes with business, that comes with relationship, that comes with friendships. So, I mean, finances is just another tough conversation that you need to have. And maybe if you explain to him rather than trying to hide it for so long and wait until you get to the, closing table and you explain to him, like,
they're not getting to the closing table yet.
Yeah.
They're not getting to the closing table yet.
Before he really distraught, like, why? I mean, he going to think that they're going to the closing table and then he going to find out, like you said, we're not even able to take this next step. So that might frustrate him even more than, you would have told him. Like, I would just say, tell him now. Don't waste any more time. Tell them right now, today or tomorrow morning at the latest, like, go have a conversation and just be open and transparent. And sometimes you just got to deal with the consequences of, however that may be. And I feel like you guys can get through it.
Yes, thank you, Shanika, for joining us. I'm going to go to a comment real quick before I give my opinion because Shanika has some thoughts. So she said it's best that she comes out and be truthful and honest with him. Going in the direction of shopping for homes will expose the very thing she's hiding from him. That's why I said they're not getting to the closing table. That's not even happening. That's far from happening. She says sometimes the uncomfortable conversations are necessary and needed. That's pretty much what you just said. So I'm gonna dive in. So number one, I just see this all the time. I mean, I'm not surprised that week after week, like I say this all the time, that we get people that write in with these situations, because finances are a huge piece of most relationships. And unfortunately, a lot of people are ashamed, not only to the public, so that's why they perceive themselves to be a different way in public, but they're also really ashamed to their partners, especially when you have someone that feels like you have to keep up with their status, or as if they have things going on. I was talking to my dad recently, and I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode. I was talking to my dad recently, and out of nowhere, he was asking me who is purchasing like the most homes. Is it men? Is it women? Like, I don't even know where the conversation started, but I started telling him the majority of our buyers are single moms. They're single women who are, probably take more than 75% of the market. So he was asking me, why is it that a lot of couples are not purchasing together, or what is going on, why we don't see the men kind of catching up with the women? And I told him it's not necessarily that men don't have the means, they don't have the money. Like, our men are out there working, they're doing overtime, they're working multiple jobs. It's just sometimes with the hustle and bustle of life, what I see is that home ownership is not always as important to men as it is for women, because women are thinking about their children and other things. But it's very rare. And again, I was saying this to my dad, it's very rare that I see a husband and wife be equally yoked. Like, it really is rare. And I know that's something that everybody aspires to do. And that's why to the public, even the letter said this, that they perceive to be this power couple, CEO lifestyle, all of these things. However, that is not the reality. And it's definitely not the reality of what I'm seeing day after day, week after week on doing these applications with couples. Most of the time, one person, whether it's the man or the woman, is able to qualify for the loan. One person has the savings, one person has the income. And what they try to do is they try to take 50% and 50% and put it together to make 100%. And it really does not work like that. Like, you have to be both giving 100% to make it equally yoked. So they think, if I have a 500 credit score, but he makes six figures, can we come together and buy the house? He has the money, I have the credit. Both people have to qualify using their income, assets, and credit. So when it comes to the student loan piece, especially on home buying, I'll speak on that aspect before we get into trust and all the lies and all the relationship stuff. Is that, it's something that's going to be a factor, and it's going to come up. So my question to signed holding a master's in debt, I wanted to know, are you ashamed possibly because you did you lie about it initially? Like, did you say like you got a scholarship or something and you don't have these student loans? Or is it something that you guys just never had a conversation about? Like, I would be a little more curious to have a little more details in a letter, technically, to kind of really deep dive, because I'm curious if we are overcoming from a lie. Did you come up with this whole story and now you got to come out to say all of it was not true? Or in some relationships, I see that they just are not having these conversations. Hey, Ada, thanks for joining us. Ada said here after sharing several times. Thank you, Ada.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, like, are you here after a ton of lies? And now you're at this moment where now you're about to just, everything is about to hit the fan. I'm thinking about that a little bit when I read the letter. Because if so, that's a whole different conversation. Because now if you have to sit down with your spouse and be like, hey, I've been lying to you the whole time. I didn't have any scholarships. I do have all these student loans. And the main thing, she said that her minimum payment is astronomical.
Yes, that was definitely a red flag that stood out. Like, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal. Now, what I will say,
the call and
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. What I was going to say is that, I would definitely get on some kind of income-based repayment plan, because technically, even if you are a high earner, you can lower that payment. Sometimes people just have the payment that, they already, Sally Mae or whoever already gave to them, Nelnet, you don't necessarily have to just only take that payment. Get on an income-based repayment plan, because that will be a factor when you're purchasing a home, and it could possibly lower that payment and oftentimes take it to zero if you're not eligible for forbearance or anything like that at the time. But I mean, the real issue is the lies. Like, I mean, y'all got to stop it in these relationships a little bit. I always, if anybody that's been watching since day one, I always say, I am coming up on my 20th anniversary being married, and my husband and I just don't operate like that, and we never have. So I think that's a part of our success, is that we just don't do that. But I just see time and time again, you'll ask one person, I mean, and not just in a relationship, in a marriage, you'll ask one person, we'll sit down, do an application to purchase a home, and one person won't even know how much money the other person has in their savings account. Or you'll ask them about their credit and they'll say, oh, you got to call the other person. And I'm just like, I can clearly tell you without a shadow of a doubt and a great estimate on what my husband's credit score is, his income, like all the things. Like, I know what's in our accounts. And oftentimes people just don't share that information. They keep it so separate. And I don't know why, because I always feel like marriage is your greatest cheat code in life a little bit. I'm not saying everybody get married. I know I'm a married person, so it's fine. But it truly is my cheat code. Two people coming together with the same mindset. And like Rome always says, we have the same end goal. That's really my cheat code. It's not that I wasn't going to ever achieve these things in life, but having a partner that is equally yoked and in the same mindset, we on the same page when it comes to specifically finances, it just made everything happen 20 times faster than it would have if it was just me trying to achieve these things.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with everything you said. And I feel like just the being equally yoked goes a lot deeper than like I don't even know how to put it into words or like really explain it, because I feel like it goes from my generation up until, mid 30s. And I'm not really sure about the 40s, but I've been seeing a lot more. And it's like, I don't think people, like, it's hard to trust people in general. Like, even if you've been dating somebody for X amount of years, like, you got relationships out here who are hurting each other in physical ways, different stuff. Like, you sleeping beside this person every night. So I feel like people always want to have the upper hand or the one up. And, they sometimes will be afraid to tell their partner, I'm struggling or I'm doing this, because they might leave you. They might look at you differently. So I feel like it's like you trying to keep up with your partner, or y'all trying to,
competitive.
Like,
people are competing
a little
against
bit.
each other. Yeah. They're competing with each other. And I don't know why. Help each other. Don't compete with each other.
I feel like today you really have to find a partner who, like you said, understands the end goal by any means, whatever we have to do to get to this end goal. Like, if you got to wear the same exact shirt, I got to wear my EyeAm shirt every single day for 90 days. I'm not going to break up with my spouse because they wearing the same shirt for 90 days, because I understand in 90 days we can go get 20 shirts from Louis Vuitton or get 20 shirts. But you just got to understand.
You just said it, by any means. I feel like me and Rome have to start saying that. I mean, you've been here our entire marriage. So by any means is how we run our household. Yes. Like, it literally is that. By any means necessary, we need to pull together to get to the end goal.
And by me being a spectator of, y'all marriage for 20 something, 15 plus years and then some, like, that's how I see things now. So it's like when I look at couples and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, they doing the thing because they both on the same page. Like, do I think that behind closed doors they just is rubbing each other toes and cuddling? Like, no, they probably scratching at each other. Like, but that's in-house stuff. And I feel like, when you put it on the surface, make it surface level, you always have to remain a team. And I feel like a lot of people don't know about that team aspect. Rather, you haven't been taught from your mom or your dad, how to, be with somebody else. But I feel like once you get to a certain age, like I just heard Corey Holcomb say he don't even know how to pick a woman. And I was like, well, maybe his dad didn't teach him. But I'm like, Corey Holcomb, you almost 60 years old. Why didn't you go learn how to pick a female? Like, you a grown man out here with children. You should go learn on your own. Hey, this is, how you treat a woman. This is how you talk to a woman, this, that. So then you can pass it down to your children, and not only your children, but the younger men that's watching the same podcast I was watching. Like, you don't want to just say, oh, I don't know how to pick a woman and it's okay, I'm just going to keep, doing whatever I'm doing. Like, no, we got to actually learn how to become a team and learn how to be selfless. I feel like in this generation, I mean, not just generation, in this economy, it's so much of a survival mode economy that people are scared to say, like, you know, I'm not, this is a downtime in my life right now, so I'm not up right now, I'm building. And everybody also wants that instant gratification. It doesn't matter if it's a woman, if it's a male. I noticed that a lot of people in relationships want to find somebody who already have their life built and just join and be a part of it. Like, no, build it up together. That's how you really do it. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to say, hey, my credit score is a 500 without you and your partner turning around and being like a 500 and looking at you crazy. Like, okay, well, it's a million credit repair people online. Let's, you know, get you with one of them. Like, it's okay. We can get you from a 500 in a little bit of time. It'll be a 700. It's not nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about. And I feel like that's a huge problem in just our society today in general with trusting each other.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon, for joining us. I'm gonna go to a comment. Brandon said, "Hey, fam, it's not only the lies, but they also probably wasn't having those financial conversations that they were supposed to have. If his money was the house money and her money was hers, the husband probably didn't ask what she did with her money. So it also depends on their dynamics." I said the same thing. Like, I think that it's a conversation that has not been had, and that's another thing. Being married 20 years, that if someone was to ask me, I could probably create a nice little list of things that people need to ask and then to know about someone before just jumping in that you don't think is important. But all things financial are extremely important. And like you said, Monte, I don't believe that people should come together already perfect. Like, two people have to be perfect and have everything together. But I do say, just like we say time and time every single week, I think that age becomes a factor. So, if I was 50 and non-wed, trying to find someone, just like you said about Corey, then maybe at 50 or 60, I would be like, can you bring a little something with you? But it would be different depending on each situation. So if it was just like, I have good income, this and that, I just have not mastered this credit thing, I would be okay with taking someone, especially if I know I've mastered it. Then it's not, and a lot of women I feel like see it as like I'm taking on a project or something like that. But it's like, meet people where they are and then build from that together. Now, obviously, 20s and 30s, you definitely should not be expecting your partner to have it all together at that point. Like, learn how to build together. And I guess that's probably why my situation is a little different, because everything I've ever had is with my husband. Like, everything, we've always done everything together. Our names are on everything. I've never had, many things as an adult without him, because I've pretty much been married my whole adult life. But, I maybe had one car without him, but,
And one thing about y'all, not to just cut you off, but I noticed, like, even like, yes, y'all, like how you say y'all have your names on everything. I don't think I've ever noticed a moment in you guys' marriage where it's been like selfish, like, oh, that's mine, or oh, I not even that's mine because y'all name is both on it. But like how Martin and Gina both like had the joint account, but they still had the cookie jar over here. Like, I don't think I never seen nothing like that or anything like that. And I feel like it's a lot of that be going on now. Like in your 20s, women want to meet men that's already six-figure earners. And I just seen somebody else on the podcast that said, I don't even remember who podcast it was. All these podcasts, some people just be talking, but I'll be watching some of them. So it's just like a lady said, within the first night, like after 90 days, the guy she's dating should be paying her bills automatically. Like, it's just so much crazy expectations. And when, like I said, people just say anything sometime on different podcasts. So you got to figure out what's credible and what's worked for you. And I feel like when people hear certain stuff on podcasts or on social media, just like, oh, well, he paying her bill. Well, why you not paying? And now you putting those expectations on your partner. And it's like, they 43 years old. Like, we is 27, 26. Let's stick to what we doing. It's working. Like, block that out and we gonna stick to our plan. I feel like everybody see, oh, such and such bought this person a G-Wagon and that's just the exit. 1,000 roses, and take your dozen of roses and understand that we gonna get to buying 1,000 of roses. Like, you gotta, I just feel like whatever you want out of life, even if it's a finance relationship, like, you gotta put in the work to do it. I don't feel like anything will just be given to you. So if you want the fairy tale ending, put in the work to get the fairy tale ending. Like, it's not just gonna be handed to you. And I feel like it's very selfish for you to expect somebody to just give it to you and you put in no work at all.
Yeah. And like you said, it's always going to be sacrifice. It's always going to be something. But when you have the same end goal, like starting with all of these lies and all these things, like it's just all you messing it all up from the very beginning. And now when you have financial issues and now you also have trust issues on top of the financial issues, now you just creating a boiling pot that you just don't want to start in your marriage. But like you said, we've never been like that at all. Like we're here to be a true partner to each other. So it's never been like a this is yours, this is mine. If anything, I know Jerome and the girls were at alumni lacrosse game, so I know they may be tuning in. I think they said they were in the car, so they can't comment. So hey guys, if y'all are watching, but what I will say is that Jerome has always been the type of person, even earlier in our 20s, where, like, say if we were going to go out and get 2 new cars or something like that, he would always make the sacrifice, even to make sure I got mine first. Like, he would be like, let me just get yours first, knowing he's still going to get his. He's going to get whatever he want. Brandon said, one band, one sound. Thank you. One band, one sound. Like, stop it, y'all. Stop it. Like, I don't know how many times I got to say this. Stop it. Just literally stop it. Y'all are a team. You should be functioning as a team at all times. Like, I can remember when I was maybe 16 or 17 years old. In every episode, I'm going to bring my dad up a lot. So one day I may get him on the podcast. But,
I just was asking about him earlier. Rome and Red got to get on the podcast.
We got to get my dad and my husband on the podcast. When you meet my dad, it's not going to be any questions of why I'm married to the person that I'm married to, because it'll all make sense. However, my dad told me when I was like 16 years old, 17 years old, he always kind of set me down. Like you said, maybe nobody sets somebody down and telling people how a relationship should go because they don't have these examples. Shout out to my parents who having their 40th vow renewal this weekend.
I feel like they renewed vows like 3 times since I've been in love already.
No, they've never renewed vows ever. So they're having
what did they do in the backyard? That wasn't a vow renewal?
Well, that was they originally got married in the backyard, but that was 40 years ago.
Oh, I thought they had never, a couple during COVID, right before COVID.
Oh no, they just may have had a party or something, but no, they've never had an actual vow renewal.
But this is 40 years of marriage.
40 years married. 40 years married. And it's so crazy. My parents have 40. I have 20. It don't even seem like it should. You know, I've been married my whole life, but. What I always, my dad would always say that, you know, even the conversation has been coming up lately about this 50-50 thing, you know, and I'm like, nobody ever taught anybody that. Like my dad taught me when I was 16, when you get a relationship, that 50-50 stuff, even saying it, whether it's bills, mentally, financial, whatever it is, like you should be giving 100% of everything that you have at all times. Like if you are in it 100%, you won't even have 1% that's off somewhere else. Like, you know, sometimes we have conversations too, and this is kind of slightly off topic, but still on relationships where, you know, my husband wears his wedding ring way more than I wear mine. I'm just not a super jewelry person. I don't wear mine like that. Whenever you see Jerome, he might be cutting the grass in his wedding ring. Every time he wakes up, it's his wedding ring. So sometimes people will say to me like, hey, put your wedding ring on. And I'll be like, listen, whether I'm have this ring on or not, I'm still married. You can come up to me and say, hey, I was interested. You know, are you single? I'm married, ring or not, because to me, those things is just like, yes, I like having it. Those are for the public. You know what I'm saying? To me, those are things to show that you're married to the public. I know that some people say they never take their ring off and all the things. I take mine off the moment I come in the house. Like most of the time, I take it off immediately. I just don't like it on my finger. But that's for the public to me. Like no matter what, one band, one sound. I'm married regardless. Like it's nothing that you can say to me. It's nothing that, you know, it's nothing that you can present me like it. And because we've been like that the entire time, I'll even tell people like, you know, in business, sometimes when I'm at networking events, they'll be like, is it okay I take a picture with you? You know, I just didn't want to, I wanted to ask your husband, but I didn't see him. I'm like, my husband don't care about you. Like my husband's not intimidated by you. Like that's another thing that we don't have those things. Like nobody ever seen Rome intimidated by nobody. Like that's how strong of a man you have to be. And that's how strong of a relationship you have to be, because that just ain't going to happen at all. Hey, Will, thanks for joining us. All right, I'm going to go to the comments, Monte. So Ada said, I guess my marriage is unique as well. Even with a short dating time, we operated as what you have is what I have. By all means, we did what we needed to do to buy our house. with less than a month's notice. However, we were fortunate to have an incredible realtor help us. Thank you. Of course, Ada, that's why I love y'all also, because if you are operating in two different aspects, hiding secrets, hiding money, all of that stuff, you'll have more money when you put it together. And I'll just tell y'all, I'll share Will Set Goals. Thank you, Will. I'll share one of our personal secrets that we started doing years ago is that, you know, I always say to my children, I rarely say it publicly because I just try to be humble. But if someone wants to ask me, my children know that I always say to, you know, years ago when I used to make it known a little more, you know, I haven't paid bills in forever in our home. And it's not because I don't take my money to still contribute to the home. However, we realized a long time ago that my husband can cover all of our bills. Like, even if anybody's been to my house, the house that I live in now, I never sold a home before we even moved here. Like, my husband can cover all of what we need to be supplied on a monthly basis, weekly basis, annual basis. And then with my career, I can start our investing. So now we have 100% being paid over here. And now we have 100% of the means to now start investing, you know, getting our pool built, getting properties. So maybe I'm not paying the gas and electric, but maybe my pot is over here helping to supply for that next rental property that we're going to get. So I always say it's not that I'm not contributing. You know, I do very extremely well for myself. I'm definitely contributing, but it's not to the Comcast, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not doing that. And everybody has their respective places. And what I feel like a lot of couples do is they want to do not only the 50-50, but I also hear my man pays the big bill. So say he pays the rent or the mortgage, and they'll say,
the utilities.
I pay all the utilities. In 2026, the utilities is probably equal to the rent. You know what I'm saying? By the time you get the food, the phone, the cell phone, they say, I pay the little bills. That is the dumbest. I don't even know who came up with that. To me, it's just like, who came up with that theory that like you're paying the little things? To me, it's a mindset. It's something that you put in your mind that you're paying the little things. And now the man has one bill, possibly, maybe two, maybe he pay a car payment and the rent or the mortgage. And you are paying all of the little things. But has anybody ever sat down and seen how those numbers match up? You might be paying only $100 to maybe $500 or less, the difference than what he is paying. So if so, then is he able to cover that pot? And then now, while y'all are fighting to create a savings pot, you now are like, hey, babe, the $2,000 I was paying out for the little bills each month, instead of you gambling or betting, sports betting, or out there doing, you know, you on the Gucci store, whatever, can you sacrifice for 6 months and not do those things? I sacrificed for 6 months, and now we can turn around in 6 months and possibly have a $10,000 savings pot, because my $2,000 that I was paying on the little bills is now increasing our investments, and now we're whole. You know, now we have the bills paid, we have investments, we have savings, we have all the things, because that's what partnership should be. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's literally been our secret plan, and it's worked for us. I don't know if it works for everybody else, but it's been able to grow, you know, everything that we have tenfold, because it's not that splitting everything here and there, thinking that you're getting away with not paying something, you know, because you're paying the little bills.
What about the sacrifices and like the maintenance and stuff? Like, even the day I see you got on the hat, like, was it ever times like, did Rome have a budget for like, you need your hair done every Friday, your nails? Did you used to go without at times? Like, what about certain sacrifices? Because even the lady here, she like, in the letter, she like, I'm trying to keep up with my husband, but I don't want him to, you know that I'm not able to keep up. So I feel like it's a lot of people that make purchases, you know, to keep up with other people, and they know that, you know, it might not be the best purchase, but I'd rather, you know, look good so people think that I'm keeping up, rather than look bummy for 2-3 weeks, or, you know, like I said, wear the same outfit or something to get ahead.
No, that's not. Somebody asked me that recently too. Like, do I have any vices? Because they hear me speak like this, so they like, well, you gotta have a vice. You know, you gotta have something that you spit, splurge on, this, that, and the other. You know, my financial security is what my advice is. I'm mentally, you know how they have the memes where it's just like money sitting on my mind all day. That's literally how I don't know why I'm built like that. Like my mindset is literally just like all I want to do is be financially secure. Like I don't want to pretend like I'm living a life. I really want the dream life and I want every aspect of it. Like I was telling someone that recently, like Jerome and I have always wanted it all. Like we not only want the house, we want the cars, we want the skin, we want nice teeth, we want to be educated, we want our kids to be like, I don't even want like one, you know how people have 3 children and they only talk about that one golden child because the rest of them ain't doing nothing. We don't want that. We want all of our kids to be successful. We want all of them to be thriving. We want everybody to be educated. We want everybody to have careers. Like we want everybody, like we just want it all. And I know that may sound cliche, but that's literally what we have been fighting for and sacrificing for 20 years. So, you know, I don't do any of those things. I rarely go to the hairdresser. I go sometimes, you know, I press my own hair. Maybe when I get it braided sometimes. I rarely go get my makeup done unless I'm going to, like, if I have a magazine shoot or something, but like everyday things, I do my self-care now. I started that a few years ago. I do my self-care. So I definitely am getting my facials, my massages, my stretch, all of those things. So maybe
that's in the mental health budget. That's mental health.
Yeah, that's a mental health. I need that to decompress. But, you know, I'm not a super fashion person. I will say that, you know, I try to watch when I say that because my closet is crazy. I mean, if you go to my closet, you're going to be like, Ebony, stop saying that. But I have a lot of things, but I don't have a lot of, you know, I don't have $2,000 pieces or anything crazy. It's just an accumulation throughout the years. You know, I used to donate a lot of my stuff, but you know, I don't have any of those things. So I'm one of those people that can easily sacrifice, you know, like Brandon said, I can get into one band, one sound quickly. You know, I can turn everything off really quickly. And I think that's something that we both are able to do. And sacrifice, because that's what you have to do. So back to the letter, if they have this astronomical monthly payment, then somebody needs to sacrifice. And you know, I said this before, Jerome and I also are the way we sacrifice a little bit too. People think always when you sacrifice, you have to go on a strict budget where you can't do anything. Maybe sometimes you need more income. People don't talk about that enough. You need to pick up another hustle that's maybe now going to handle the student loan bill. And now it won't feel like you're taking it from your monthly pay. You might need to bring in more money. People are going to their 9 to 5, coming home and just being home. Like, what are you doing with all the rest of those hours? Like, you need more income. You need 7 to 20 streams of income. Like, you need more income. That is also a solution. So if you're sitting home and you're financially struggling and you're holding secrets and lies from your partner and you only have 1 or 2 streams of income, you don't always have to just tremendously cut back. You might be looking at your budget and like, it's nothing I can do to cut back. Like we're pinching everywhere possible. Like I stopped doing this, I stopped doing that. If that is the answer, you need more income. That's also a part of the solution.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the comments too, Monte. We got some comments piling up. Thank you guys for commenting while I'm yapping on. All right, Brandon says, "Girl, I lost mine in Vegas 5 years ago and ain't got another one yet because who needs to know?" But thank you. I don't even be pressed about my ring. Everybody love my ring, but I'd be like, listen. My husband bought my ring more than 20 years ago. So it's like, I don't have a new one. I don't have an upgrade. I guess sometimes they'll see it. He did a good job 20 plus years ago. They're going probably 22 years ago or something. And it is what it is, but I don't be caring like that. Ada said, LOL, did you think I forgot I was married yesterday? Inside joke with the popo. Yes. Ada and I was out together yesterday. Shout out to Ada. She said, yes. Let me see. We have Will in the chat who said goals 2 times, Rome setting a real tone, and of course, Auntie the brains put in plays in order. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. But that's just something that we've always done. Like, you know, help each other, like figure out how to grow together and set like a plan for your own family. Again, this is not financial advice for someone else. You know, you can go into your own household and see what is best. I'm sharing personal things that have worked for my family throughout the years. So figure out what works for your family, definitely. Ada says, we refer to our financial goals is called buy the house mode. Yes. And, you know, I call it having a seat mode anyway. Oh, Rome is here. He said, you had the ring on yesterday. Yes, I do have my ring sometimes.
Yeah. That's what she said. I think that she took it off when she get
And
home.
I do put it on for the episode. So I have not had my ring on all day, and I will put it on for formal things like my podcast. And when I'm going out in public, I definitely make sure I have my ring on. Ada said, absolutely. I'm thinking about returning to the workforce to take care of some home renovations after being retired for 17 years. I also think, again, that is always something that is a factor, and it's not something that's discussed frequently. People don't talk about, if you are in a situation or you have bills or you have goals, get some more income. Rome said, Monte, let me hold
it. Yeah, I don't got no 70 said again right now.
Yeah, so I think that more income could also help our letter because people just don't think about that. And I think nowadays, from when I originally got married, it's all these things didn't exist. Amazon didn't exist when I got married. Honestly, social media was not what it is now when I got married. So most of the time people get married now, they have to put out a notice to everyone, don't record, don't video, don't take pictures of the bride before the professional photos out. That stuff didn't exist back then. Like nobody was on social media when I got married. So that's how long ago it has been. So if you do need a little bit of support now, they got DoorDash, you got Amazon Flex, they got Uber Eats. You can sell t-shirts, you can sell merch, you can monetize on your social media pages, you can start putting out some content. Like it's so many non-traditional ways to make money that it's like, if you need to start figuring out what can I do, maybe things that I do residually is take a talent or expertise that you have, publish a book. Those things are residual, where it's just like, think of something that will create money for you in perpetuity, so that once you come up with this idea, you can continue to make money and it will be like a lifelong additional stream of income, because most of the time people need more income.
Yeah, I agree. And just to answer my second part of the question, she said, "Hi, I am Brand CEO. How do I fix my personal financial brand when I've been faking it to make it?" Just simple. Stop faking it to make it. Like honestly, I feel like you said, to touch on social media, just so much that people are able to see. Like you got literally. I mean, I just seen a girl get put off of a stream for not being 18 or not being 21 or something. So you got people out here who look like they 30 or living like they 30, 40, and it might look one way, but that's not necessarily what's going on. So just stop trying to portray an image. Do exactly, find out what works for you and your team and your partner, and stick to that plan. Like don't veer away from your plan. And like I said, just kind of don't believe what's on social media. Like I feel like it's people think they have so many different options, and that's why I feel like it's so much pressure in relationships, I would say, because nowadays you got, if you're in a relationship, you might, if you are a guy, maybe you have girls that are DMing you certain type of ways. If you are a woman and you in a relationship and you want to do something, like she was saying in the letter, they do a lot of fancy dinners. If her boyfriend at the time did say, you know what, we're gonna not do no fancy dinners for this month, we going to cook this month, next month we'll resume with the dinners or something like that. It could be a guy that just come out of nowhere, like, well, he ain't gonna do it, I'll take you out. Like you got to learn to ignore that type of stuff and just understand, like,
That's a weak mind. That's a weak
yeah.
mindset. So that's
And
a whole
I
thing.
feel like it's a lot of it going on out here. Like you'll see what somebody else got, or oh, my friend boyfriend just took her on a date, why we haven't been like, that's your friend. I feel like people need to learn to stay in their lane and stop watching what other people are doing and thinking that it's going to work for them, because then when you get to that point and you find out it don't work for you, now you looking crazy. So I feel like people need to really definitely start having more talks and more communication and figuring out what works for them, and also just stop faking it. Like if you live
Stop it,
to a
please.
podcast, what can I do to
And
fix
most
my
of the time we all know, so I don't even know they don't know that we know. So like most of the time we know. So
forget that. Like even people I know personally, I'm like, do y'all forget we went to school together? Like you,
yeah, we
that
know.
I know you. I'm going to see you at the.
Yeah, I know you in real life, so you can
this
just stop.
weekend. Like,
Your spouse knows you in real life, so they may even secretly
yeah.
be like, something ain't right, and they just moving along with life because they don't even. Some people are non-confrontational. It's a bunch of different things. Brandon just now touched on what you just said. He said different strokes for different folks. Keep the main thing, and if it works for you and yours, who cares about keeping up? Exact. Like Jerome and I went on our first vacation without our children in, I believe, 16 or 17 years, just 2 years ago. And when I said that, people just assume, you know, that we haven't gone on vacation. We've taken our kids everywhere. This is part of our tradition when we have small children, young children, and we love doing things as a family. So it wasn't necessarily like something that we were missing out on. We really, even going there, we were in Jamaica and was just like, oh, the kids will love this. Oh, we got to bring the kids back. Where I'm like, why are we coming without the kids like the whole entire time? Just because that is the makeup of us. Like you said, stick to what works for you, and that's what works for us. But we didn't really feel like we were missing out. Where I feel like when I said that to someone, then like a lot of people felt like, oh my goodness, like they felt bad for us or something. Where I'm just like, please don't, you have no idea the life I live. Don't feel bad for me at all. Like we decided at that point. And if you think that we couldn't take a vacation together, it's just something we chose not to do because we hang with our family. Like we do family trips, we have family traditions. Like this is something that we created a long time ago, and we enjoy being with our children and we enjoy a lot of these things. But people just always assume, like you said, do what's best for your family. Hey, Jordan, I see Jordan is in the chat. They must be finished their lacrosse game. They back now. Yeah. Hey, Jordan. Ada also said, let me go back to the chat, Monte. Ada said, we're holding off from a equity home loan just in case we decide to purchase a new home. As for the lady with the student loans, tell him and perhaps he will have a plan to help you as well. Exactly. If he has all this going on, why don't he help you? Because that's what I don't understand also. Oron said some people are very weak. Yes. Why don't he help you? It's no way that my husband, let me say this too. It wouldn't happen. That's why it's one band. We're Brandon again with that comment. We got to pin that. One band, one sound. Let's just say for an example, my husband, he doesn't have this. So let me just make sure that I'm saying this is an example. This is an example for somebody clip this. Let's just say, for example, my husband has $20,000 worth of debt sitting somewhere, but I have $30,000 sitting in my checking account or my savings account. My husband no longer has $20,000 worth of debt sitting right there. I would rather help him out, get his 20 straightened, and then I'll still even be okay with having my 10 and continue to build. Like, I don't understand why people don't help each other out in that manner. Jerome said, Ebony was saying the kids needed to come. Yes, I always say the kids need to come. I don't know what's going on with Monte's thing. He's frozen right now. Maybe something happened with his internet or something. But yes, I always say that the kids definitely need to come because we enjoy hanging with the kids. So we definitely enjoy vacationing with them. But people always, when I say that to my friends and family, they always just assume like, you know, why haven't you vacationed? What's going on? Oh, Monte must have had to drop something going on with his internet. If you don't know, my son lives in Houston, and he said that they have been having extremely bad weather there. So I don't know if his internet went out. Oh, it says to add him to the stage. Let me try to add him back. Yeah, maybe his internet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you back.
I don't know why my thing just did that. I'm here though. I apologize, guys. I don't know what's going on.
That's what I said. I was like, I think we've said plenty of time that Monte lives in Houston. So Jordan said, yes, sister said praying for Texas weather. Yes, it's that time of the year in Texas.
Hey, Jordan, pretty.
Yes, Rome said, I say the kids always got to come. You see his comment, Monte? Yes, we started, you know, Monte probably remembers years ago when we didn't have the family traditions of vacationing together as a family. And even at Christmas time, we would do all the thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gifts and all that stuff. And I even got tired of that. I was like, I'm just over all these toys that they're not playing with. This stuff is broke in a week. You know, if you're a parent out here in the chat, then you know the deal. So we started a tradition that had to be even 15 years ago plus of doing like a family vacation at Christmas time and having certain times throughout the year that we travel and we do things as a family as one time to create experiences versus all of these presents and gifts and Jordans and this and that. So we put a halt to that stuff so long ago. And our kids have never come back to ask for any of it because everybody enjoys the experiences more than they enjoy the things. So we try to take them away from all the flashy things. So maybe that's just why that's not a part of our family as well. Maybe just breaking those generational curses is something that's big also.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
In the chat too, he said, my kid's too small right now, but that's just me and mine's. Maybe when they get older, they'll be allowed to come on vacation. Oh yes, we were taking ours even when they were little. But I will say, if we had to go back some of them don't remember. So sometimes we have to revisit places that they don't remember.
I was about to say, I can say the girls don't remember Mystic Dunes or none of that.
Yeah, they don't remember like way back when we used to do the big resorts in Disney World and all that stuff because they were so young. Especially places like Disney World, we have been taking them since they were like 1 or 2 years old.
I must say they know now though. We've definitely been a few times.
Yeah, we've been a lot of times since they've been older, but they don't remember like the first time we went. So definitely that's something I've learned as a parent. Wait a little bit till they get a little older because they are not going to remember. And you're going to be like spending all that money doing all this stuff and be like, you don't remember that, and they're not going to remember. But yes, I think I had one more piece of the letter that I wanted to point out. So we talked about how do I stop faking it till I make it conversation. We already talked about that. We talked about student loans, killing the aspect of purchasing a home. And the last piece that we had is how does privacy about your debt turn into a betrayal? I think we kind of touched on that, but what's your thoughts about when people are in these marriages and in these relationships, but they feel as though that, they need to still keep some things private? Like I see that some people may have a joint account and then they'll still be like, let me just have my own separate. Like you said, like a Martin and Gina from the episode, like we put everything in a joint account, but I'm still over here doing this. Like, what's your thoughts on the difference between where, that trust factor starts turning into betrayal?
I just feel like, again, you just have to really find like I don't even want to say the few people out here. Like I want to still believe that I know it's great people out here. I know it's good people out here, but I just think you got to find somebody that's trustworthy. And if you do want to have, like, I just feel like communication is a incredible tool to use. And I feel like a lot of people lack at it. I'm not sure why. But I feel like if you want to have your own separate account, communicate that with your partner. Like, hey, we can have a joint account, but I would also like to have, something small over here for a rainy day for myself. If I want to go get a taco, I want to get my nails done. Like, I would like to do that without having to. So I seen a couple the other day, it was actually talking about their marriage rules and how they run theirs. And this was just for them. And they were saying that they do have a joint account, but like everything is joint, but any purchase that's over $500, they have to come together and agree that they can spend that. So I feel like it's all about the communication and what works for y'all. I feel like it becomes betrayal when you're lying about it, when you're telling the person you don't have another account, or when you're secretly making purchases you're not supposed to be making. I feel like it also could be betrayal when you're not going as hard as you're supposed to go, knowing that person is out there putting forth their 100%, and you're coming home after work watching Netflix. So you're not, I feel like that can be betrayal. I feel like anything that you're not being upfront and honest about with a person who you agreed to, like have a companionship with, or anything that's fine that has to do with anything financial, I feel like that's betrayal, honestly. If me and you agree to do something together financially, buy a property, buy a bicycle, it don't matter what it is, and you're not holding up your end of the bargain, I feel like, that's kind of shady, especially when you are self-aware that you are doing it and you just scared to communicate it.
I was going to add to what you said too. I think a lot of times people have to implement the rules into their relationships because of the betrayal and trust factor. So now we have to say anything over 500, you need to get my approval. And the reason why that's in place most of the time is because I don't know if I trust you like that. I need to know what you're doing with that 500. Those things. And a lot of times when we meet other married couples, one of the biggest turnoffs for me and Rome personally is a lot of rules, because we don't live in we have boundaries and things that we've just learned over all of these years with, we respect. Eb don't like this, Rome don't like that. Like, it's just things that I know about this person over time. But some people have these very strict rules, and I don't want to live by those, because I know that people are doing that and they're living by more of the rules because it's probably some kind of trust factor over there that's happening. And that's why they have to now create, when you see couples with like a shared Facebook, we have to share our Facebook, share the messages together. We have to share the comments, all of those things. It gets weird to me.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yeah, it gets a little weird. Typically things like that are a trust factor. And when I see it financially, where it's like, hey, let's have a conversation, I feel like I'm always going to have a conversation with my husband at all times because he's right here. I don't care if I'm buying, if I go to the grocery store, I'm gonna be like, hey, Rome, you need something from the grocery store? I'm about to go, I'm gonna get some milk, I'm gonna get stuff for dinner. Like, I feel like that's just a regular conversation that I'm having. So we don't necessarily have to have the rule to say, you know, let's come together and have a conversation. Or maybe people are not in their house talking. I don't know, but we talk all day, every day. We live together, we work together, we're in constant conversation, constant communication. So I don't really have to do those things. But again, I feel like when those things are in place and some of those rules are in place, they're probably in place because of some kind of trust factor that maybe needs to be strengthened a little bit. So that's why I'll always say, I don't necessarily say that communication is the key, because communication alone, you know, cannot build a healthy marriage and a healthy relationship. Brandon said, I'm out the loop. You can share a, what is FB? What did I
Facebook.
say? Oh, Facebook. Oh, yes, you can share a Facebook.
Just giving somebody your password and your login information, Brandon. Like, you
I've
got
seen
the same login on their phone.
Yes, I've seen married couples with a profile picture is not only both of them, but it's because like the name of the page will be like their names combined, showing that
I told
it's like,
you, and
it'll be like Eb and Rome. You know what I'm saying?
And I've seen people like that. A lot of trend that I've been seeing recently is a lot of people have their husband and wife in their bio. And honestly, I'm not gonna say I'm against 100% of it. Like I said, if it works for y'all, it worked for y'all. Like, yes, it'll get weird when it comes to the point of like, I do feel like you can't share a social media account with somebody just to be like, oh, I want to make sure you're not cheating. That's not going to stop them from cheating just because you think that you're watching. He said, I guess I've been married too long. That's wild.
Weird. It gets weird. It gets weird.
We living in a new generation out here. I'm telling you, you never had Beyonce's sister sliding your husband DM. Like, it's different out here. Like, it's people that's experiencing stuff they never seen before. You got a lady that's working at Chili's or Walmart or something, and now a guy like, I'll pick you up my Rolls Royce on Sunday or something. So I feel like you can't change that. You just got to have somebody that have the mindset, like Rome said, just not being weak-minded to the point where like you don't have to do that. But I do feel as though not sharing the social medias, off of the social media stuff, I do feel as though some rules are okay with being put in place if that works for you, because I feel like it's also a time where, and I'm not just gonna say a time where right now, but I feel like I've been seeing a lot of people where as though you and your spouse might not necessarily come from the same background or, you know, the same beliefs or something like that. So y'all might completely, he said, I pray for your dating life, bro. Hey, you don't gotta worry about me. I'm just letting y'all know what, I live in Houston, Texas. So this is like the #1 city in the United States. So if you think your girlfriend going to 7-Eleven, I don't know, she might run in the drink or something. Like, just be careful. Just be careful. But I feel like it's a big thing when people come from two different worlds and now they coming together to create one world. I feel like it's kind of I mean, you can call it rules, you can call it boundaries, you can call it learning your partner, but I feel like sometimes certain stuff might need to be put in place. Like, you know, I'm not used to this, you used to this, so let's agree to do something this way, whatever that may look like for them.
Yeah, and I was about to say, yeah, I guess it's synonymous, because I would probably refer it more as a boundary versus, you know, like I've been out with couples and the husband has to order the wife's food. Like, she won't order her own food. And that's kind of like, I consider that more like a rule that's in place than a boundary. So I feel like it is a difference a little bit. Rome said definitely is. I feel like some are rules and some are boundaries. So like you said, to each his own. Definitely, we're going to continue to say that, because do what works for you. But I definitely see a clear difference sometimes. Then it's one thing to know someone's boundaries. Like I said, you know, one person might not like hot water and the other person like cool water. That's knowing your person, you know what I'm saying? And that's knowing, if Rome say, hey, run my shower water, I ain't gonna turn it all the way to blasting hot because I know, you know, he don't want it that hot. That's something that's just knowing your person versus having a rule like, when I come in, you better have my shower water. Yeah, that to me is like what I mean by the rules and just boundaries. Like,
yeah, no, that's a bit much. Like, you shouldn't. And yeah. I feel as though, and I'm younger, so I think I don't really believe in as much gender rules. Like, I don't think a woman should take out the trash, nothing like that. But like, whatever it takes, whatever need to get done. Like if you need me to, somebody said, what you think is more important, knowing boundaries or knowing love languages?
I would definitely say boundaries.
Yeah, I would say boundaries too, because boundaries could make or break a love language. I mean, people change love languages all the time. I heard people say, you know, they might in their 20s they liked like receiving gifts and stuff like that, and as they get older, it might be words of acts of affirmations or something like that. Words of affirmation. So I feel like boundaries can change.
Yeah, because as
Honestly,
you get to know that person, you'll know what they like. I think that's something that comes natural, but someone's boundaries and disrespecting somebody's boundaries can be, like you said, that could be a make or break for some people, and especially if you're doing it time and time again, because you never know. Again, we talk about people. Jordan said, I agree. We talk about people coming from
Jordan, you
two
don't
different.
agree. You not agree. You
Yes.
don't agree.
We talk about people coming from two
I
different
don't want my
lifestyles. So
little
this is
sisters to
something
grow
that
up, y'all.
that's something my dad used to say to me all the time too. Like being in a relationship, and again, I'm going back to my dad because I think he told me this when I was like 14. He said one of the hardest things you'll ever do in life is be in a relationship with someone, because you're taking two different people from two different households, two different walks of life, and you're bringing them together as one. And that will be a life challenge of yours. And I always went into it with that mindset, knowing that this person was raised totally different from me, like totally different. And you'll find people that have similar upbringings, but when it comes down to it, if y'all living together in the same house and y'all are trying to build a life together, y'all will have to create your own boundaries and your own, I say that to Rome all the time. We both have separate families, but this is a family we created, so now we have to create our own traditions. We have to create our own things. So I feel like knowing someone's love language is important, because you have to know how to love someone. Don't just love them how you feel is best, but I feel like that will come with that communication, being around each other, so forth, especially if you're in a marriage, because that's kind of where the letter originated from. These people are married. So you'll know that person's love language as it changes. As I got a little older, with some of my food allergies and things like that, and with just trying to be a lot healthier as we got older, I'll be transparent. Rome knows I used to always say to him, like, I don't want to only go to dinner for a date. Like, I don't want to only eat. Like, eating is something that I really don't even want to do as much, because I'm even more on my health journey. So I would say to him, if we're going to do an activity and food is a part of it, or we're going to go, do something fun. We're going to go, like we just went to the big game show. Sometimes we had a little part in our marriage where we were saying we're going to go see all the museums in the DC area, like DC, Maryland, and Virginia, any museums. Every time we have a date night, we was just museums. Now, after the museum, if it's a little restaurant inside and we go grab something, then fine. But I just don't only want to eat and come back to the house, eat and have conversation and come back to the house. So things like that is a part of the love language, and you can just literally express that to somebody. But again, knowing your boundaries, that can easily be something like, what if it's something that is like a generational curse for someone, where it really becomes like you do something that's against their boundaries and now it's a trigger for them. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing somebody's boundaries to me is really important. He said boundaries can change too. I feel as people get older and mature, you pick and choose which boundaries you stand firm on. Is that losing self-respect? I don't think it is, because you'll definitely all the time. Oh, somebody said, Rome, that's my guy. Okay, thanks for joining us.
That's Frank talking, Mom.
Okay, hey Frank. I didn't even realize that was Frank. Thanks for joining. I ain't seen Frank in forever. I'm right.
Frank actually, congratulations to my guy Frank. Frank just graduated with his master's degree like a week ago.
Okay, congrats, Frank.
Yeah, shout out to Frank. That's my brother since high school for sure. Yes. He's the first one out of our high school group basketball team to get his master's degree. So that's a huge, and he also lives in Florida by himself, away from our hometown. So shout out to Frank.
Okay, he moved away too. Okay, yes, but back to his comment, I definitely agree that boundaries will change. It will change. If you've been married as long as I've been married, we were talking about that. Also, is that things will change as you get older all the time. Like, you will grow in your relationship. So that's why a lot of times people are not in long-term relationships, because things start changing and you have to be strong enough to withstand some of those changes. So I posted recently that I went to like a speed friending in the DMV, and it was one other lady that was in the speed friending was for women 30 to 40 30 to 50. So everybody there was either in their 30s or 40s. And I kept saying I've been married almost 20 years, and one other lady had been married for 18 years, and she had a little bit of younger children. But she even said to me, she was like, "Oh, you going on 20 years?" And I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Married?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "That's rare that you see that." And I know that it's rare. So that's why I say it so much, because I know that it's rare and it's something that is special that we have. And on top of it, if you have not met my husband before, and he's still in the chat, my husband still adores me 20 years later, and everybody knows that. But I always say that it is very, very rare, because you will change. Like, we're not the same people, even like we just mentioned, Frank getting his degree, getting his master's, this and that. I didn't have a master's when I met Rome. So being in class, being in school, doing all these things, like being frustrated, having anxiety, things that started changing. I don't like, I'll say this one thing. I don't like going through the Harbor Tunnel no more. That's something new for me. We got to change our whole route, because Ebony no longer, I don't play with the Harbor Tunnel no more. So Rome be looking at the GPS like, hey, it's going to cut us down 35 minutes if we go to this tunnel. And I'd be like, I drive in my own car before I go through the Harbor Tunnel. I'm about the Harbor Tunnel, I don't mess with no more. So just things like that is those boundaries and those changes. That's now it's like, hey, we've been going through the Harbor Tunnel for 15 years. And now all of a sudden you come up with, we can't do that no more. And now it's going to cost us more traffic and this, that, and the other. And that's just a small example, but you will change and you will grow. Those boundaries will change, and your love language will change. Like, things that you like to do will change. Things that are important to you will change. Brandon said, being married or in a committed relationship, you got to learn how to pick and choose your battles. And congrats, Frank. Yes, please pick your battles. I mean, everything ain't worth beefing for. Learn your partner. If they don't like it, just don't do it. I mean, it's just that simple to me also. Like, learn how to have a seat. Learn how to not do too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your person doesn't like it, don't do it. Certain things. And let me just add this, because I've been chatting on, and we after 9 p.m. So we're gonna wrap up with our wrap up in a minute. Let me just say this. The reason why the trust is so strong with my husband and I when it comes to each other also is because I just don't do certain things. So it's like, it's not that he's just giving me the ability to handle our finances and handle this and handle that, just because. It's like, if I did not handle those things in trust, then he wouldn't. Like, I could not just come home and have laundry all over the house, for 3 months straight, and just keep washing them back and forth and just have them sitting there. Ron would eventually be looking like, you good? Like, you okay? Because I know certain things that he likes, I know certain things that I like, and it's just, I just won't do it. If laundry gets piled up for a week, then I will definitely be like, I gotta get them clothes on Saturday, and I'll make sure everything is folded. Like, it's not gonna happen but so long where we really don't even have to have that conversation, because I already know certain things. Like, I don't want the house getting too much. I don't, certain things, like you said, gender roles and things like that is one thing. I am very traditional, but we don't have gender role rules, but kind of sort of a little bit. Like you said,
it's
I'm not
like, even with that though, it's like nowadays, and I mean, it's kind of like how Brandon was saying, like, I don't know, our generation of dating is not the same. And it's like watching 40 years of marriage from my grandparents, 20 years from my actual parents. Is like, I have that old school mindset. And it's like, even I mean, not me, like, not from personal experience, but just seeing people out here. It's a lot of a trend going around now where it's like, well, I'm not playing house. Like, I'm not going to clean the house up or clean the clothes or nothing like that because I'm not married. And it's like, y'all are in y'all 20s. Like, y'all have, it's what, by any means necessary. If that man is going to work, or if that woman is going to work and she needs you to do the dishes, tidy the house, like, why should a man have a problem tidying the house just because y'all not married, or vice versa? I feel like it's just a whole lot of selfishness that's going on out here. And everybody wants, you cater to me, you cater to me, you cater to me. And it's not enough. Let's cater to each other. If you only got 40% in you that day, I'm okay with accepting your 40%. And you got to understand, every day your partner might not be able to give you 100%, but they're giving you all of them. So long as each person is giving 100%, like you said, from both sides, even if that 100% is only 30, because that's all they have that day to give you, I feel like that's how you get to the top. And like, if we can go on and on about just relationships, and we try to tie the financials back into it, but I feel like it all comes full circle. Just being transparent and just finding somebody to, tackle this life thing with. Like, it's already not as easy by yourself. So bringing somebody else in from another walk of life to try to, have somebody else to tag along in life is like, it's definitely even more of a challenge. So you just got to be even more communication and more open-minded.
Yeah. And my last piece before we go to our quick hits real quick and our, our mental health minute and wrap it up because we've been over hours. So thank you guys for still being here with us. But you just touched on something real quick and I couldn't let that go without saying it, is that, a lot of times 30 or 40% may be 100. And then your partner has to understand that. Like, even, especially when you're growing, because like you said, we tie it back into the financials. When I was doing my PhD, 30% was my max on most days. You know what I'm saying? 30% was my 100. Rome was cooking. He was cleaning. He was running the kids back and forth. A lot of times I had put on so much weight at the time because literally Rome would be bringing my food to me because I'm doing 17 hours at the computer trying to read these articles, especially when I got into the dissertation phase, and I'm crying. I just got off a meeting with my committee member and I'm crying, and I turn around and Rome and the girl standing at the office door, like just hearing me cry. And it's just like, I was 30% for, and my doctoral program was over 3 years. I'm 30% daggone there every day for almost 4 years straight, which was my max. And we knew going in the door that this was going to be something extraordinary that I was willing to take on and I was willing to do. Everybody was pushing me and cheering me, even the boys from different states. Everybody was, it was just such a huge accomplishment. And I knew how much it meant, not only to me, but to my family, to my children, and how much support I had. But most days, my 100% was 30. Like, it literally was. So I definitely understand what you mean about, and again, I take it back to that being rules versus boundaries. Cause it's like, when you have to, once I finish, am I going to go back to cooking? Yes. You know what I'm saying? But for 4 years straight, I could barely do anything. I feel like I had just lost. Everybody know now I haven't even watched television in 4 years. So I don't know what's happening. I just lost so much during that program that it was a great thing.
I feel like even though you was a part of the actual program, like you said, Rome being able to step up and do, the little things and be, the other 70% that you needed, I feel like he understood the vision of, yes, right now she only can give 30%, because after this 3 years over, I know she's gonna be on the panel and be the only one that have doctor in front of her name. Like, I feel like he knew that already. So that's the sacrifice that you make. Like, you know what? I get it. This part of the process, and a lot of people don't get that. They like, oh, she ain't cooking no more. Like, she getting lazy. Like, that's childish. Like, we trying to get to, we trying to be wealthy. All of that's not gonna get us there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because like you said, Rome don't play about my doctor now. Like, no, you better be calling me Dr. Ebony McArthur at all times while he's standing right there. But yes, it was a lot of years of sacrifice. So yeah, just communicate. Not only communicate, but implement after communication. Because I always say you can communicate as much as you want. If you're talking to a brick wall, you just talking. You know what I'm saying? You just saying it over and over and over. That's why I say communication is not the key, because you have to implement. Like, it's so many things that come under the umbrella of communication that sits even beside it, parallel when you communicate. But definitely not the lies, the deceit, all of those things. Just again, to tie back into letter, just stop, y'all. Just stop with the gotta live a CEO lifestyle to the public and all of those things. Like, it's just not gonna get you anywhere. Just live in your own truth, handle your own finances, get into a place where you truly have the things that you desire and not faking it until you make it to the things that you desire. You can always manifest, speak life into yourself, definitely, but you don't have to fake it to the public. What you have is what you have. I feel like people respect you more when you say you're growing and building. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Listen, I can't go. I'm on the move. I'm trying to do this. People, like, I feel like people will respect it more. It's just that people only know the lies, so that's what they live with. But if you really come out to your true self, then people will respect it. But let's transition over. Do we have a mental health minute for today, or any quick hits?
I have some. Let me see, because you see my connection went off. So let me try to swipe up really quick. I have a list of a few stocks from last week that I told you guys I will find y'all some stocks that's under $100 that you could possibly start investing in. So let me see if it will. Hopefully, it's not going to log me up. Just let me see really quick. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
But you can't see?
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm gonna just list them off really quick for y'all. This is just a couple of them. You guys could take a look at it. Like y'all know, I'm a big stickler on doing your own research, see what works for you. AT&T, which I know a lot of people have. Comcast, which that's
And guys, just
strong
to
growing
know, this
cash
is stocks
generation.
under $100. This is stocks under $100.
AT&T, Comcast, Nova, which is NVO, and right now Nova is like the lead. That's like a stock for like leader in diabetes and like obesity drugs. That's under $100 right now. Sophie Technology, that's a banking platform. It's a digital banking platform and it's growing a lot right now. SOFI, Sophie. Make sure you're doing the technologies. AMD, like we was talking about, advanced micro devices. Airbnb, that's also under $100. Uber Technologies, that's expanding right now and creating cash flow. I think I looked earlier today. Uber was at like $70 for Uber. Fiverr, I use Fiverr a lot. Pinterest. Do I have? Oh, General Motors. That's another good one. General Motors. So I'm gonna just go back through them again really quickly.
Okay, stocks under $100. Make a list, and Monte, I'll send it to me. I'll put it in the chat afterwards. But this is stocks under $100 to put on your watch list.
Pinterest, Fiverr. Fiverr is PFE. General Motors, that's GM, and this is just the abbreviations that you'll see pop up on whatever stocks platform you use. Uber Technologies, that's just Uber, UBER. Airbnb, the abbreviation for Airbnb is ABNB. And right now, they're a real strong brand that's profitable, especially with the summer approaching. That should be going up more. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, which is basically like AI in a data center. That's going up right now for a lot of potential for growth. SoFi Technologies, Sophie, SOFE, digital banking platform. Nova is spelled NOVO, but the abbreviations is NVO, which is the leader in diabetes and obesity drugs, like I was saying. Comcast is CMCSA, and then AT&T is just a few stocks that you guys can look at that are under $100. For everyone who was asking, if I don't have thousands of dollars or I don't have a big budget, how can I start investing?
Okay, thank you. Excellent. Yeah, last week's episode was on the stock market a little more and talking about what you can invest in if you don't have a lot of money to get started. So thank you for giving us that. I was just laughing while you were talking because Brandon said I'll look homeless like a homeless man and drive my Honda Elantra. Well, Brandon, you know you be at the house. If I ain't on here, I be looking homeless all the time, like easily. That's my comfort zone.
Hey, you just like me, Brandon.
I put on a hoodie, my hat. You know, if I ain't going nowhere, I have some seminars this weekend, so they all see me back dolled up. But yes, that was really, really good. And if you can put it into the chat, or either if you send it to me, I'll put it in the chat on our Facebook page, and we should have some stuff into our description of our YouTube page, just because we do like people to be able to follow up with all of this stuff. That's the whole point of the podcast, to be able to feed as much information that we can to our community. So we want you guys to be able to gain stuff. We want to have a great conversation, but we want you to be able to gain some financial knowledge and some financial education off of each episode. Tomorrow, if you are registered for my first time homebuyer seminar, my free first time homebuyer seminar through my nonprofit organization, MacArthur Group Community Outreach Incorporated, then I will see you tomorrow. Doors open at 10:45 a.m. Come on out and get some free home ownership knowledge. Also on my end, just a few announcements real quick, and then we'll wrap up. First time homebuyer seminar tomorrow. We also have our business networking mixer on Tuesday. It is from 5 to 8 p.m. Also through my nonprofit organization. This is our 9th quarterly business networking mixer. It is free, and we are offering free professional headshots. We have a professional photographer offering free headshots. Anytime you see my name associated with it, everything is free. If it's an event that I am hosting, it is free. So come on out, get a free headshot, network. If you're a business owner thinking about starting a business, whatever that may be, come on out. Bring some business cards, bring some flyers, get a digital card on your phone. If you don't have business cards already, start today, start somewhere, come on out and network. It's a free event. I believe we have over 100 people registered for the business networking mixer. I believe we have 50 plus people registered for our first time homebuyer seminar tomorrow. And if you have not seen, on June 13th, I will be at Coppin State University for Legacy in Motion. Shout out to Joel Gamble and his nonprofit foundation has invited me out to not only be a panelist, to be a presenter, as well as a vendor. So I'll be all over that place. So come out to my breakout rooms. I'll be talking about credit as the gateway to wealth and success, as well as home ownership. I will also be on a panel, obviously all things finance, real estate, entrepreneurship on the panel, as well as I'll be vending. So if you have not purchased any of my self-published books, come on out, get some financial information, get some of my books. I have some financial literacy coloring books for the little ones. I have a budget and expense tracking journal. I have my budget template, a bunch of self-published books. So it's a bunch of tools and information that will be there for reasonably priced. I don't think I have many things that's more than $20 because again, my goal is to try to get it out and really educate our community. So come on out, bring your family, bring your friends, and come on out to Legacy in Motion at Coppin State University on June 13th. I will be there all day. And I believe most of my family will be with me because we're a family business. So you'll see the whole gang there. So if you want to walk up to any of my husband, my children who are also licensed realtors, the gang will all be there and we will be out and about. The McArthur family will be educating our community this weekend and next weekend. And I believe the weekend after that. So our calendar is full with events where we'll be out speaking and breathing some financial life into our community. I think that's it for me.
Yeah, I think I had a something else for mental health, but I forgot it. I'll have it for y'all next week. I had a little brain fart, but y'all know that every Friday, don't forget to check on y'all strong friends. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so make sure we checking on our strong men in our life, active fathers, men that's working 12 to 20 hours a day, and just busting their tail day in and day out. Make sure you guys check on them. And we appreciate y'all staying on here this long, man. We know we got the NBA Finals on. It's the World Cup is on. It's a lot of things that's happening right now. So Brandon left
one more comment. He said, "Bro, can we get a list of decent ETFs under $80 for the next show?" So we'll work on that. Under
$80. I got you, Brandon. I got you. ETFs under 80. I got you. I'll make sure I have that for you next Friday.
Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in again for another episode of Finance Friday, the CEO Lounge. Again, go check on your strong friends. It's Father's Day this month as well. Go talk to a father or a father figure. Call someone up who has been a father or a father figure in your life or someone else's life who typically don't ask for a lot of recognition, don't want any recognition, and see how they're doing today. And make sure you say, "Hey, I just was calling. I don't want anything. I just was checking on you." I'm sure that they will definitely love to hear you. Also, talk to God today. He would love to hear from you. He probably ain't heard from you in a long time. Do that also. Chat it up. Have a conversation with him. He would definitely love to hear from you. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. And we will see you guys on the next episode of Finance Friday, the CEO Lounge.
Appreciate you.